So when we look at these campaigns, we want to be really thoughtful. Can we clearly articulate what their emotion is, what it is currently today, and where we want them to be? And then what is the action we want them to take? I'm really a fan of just trying to go outside the box. What else out there aligns with what we're trying to create, and how can we use that as inspiration for this thing that we're going to produce? All right, so Vanessa, why don't we just set the stage? What campaign do we want to start with? Do we want to do the home that you recently sold that had a bunch of saves on Zillow, or do we want to do the other campaign, which is sort of the roundup campaign you share with me? Which one's more pressing for you?
The roundup campaign.
I think that's probably the one where it's because that one's kind of somewhat, you've got something in place right now. We can jam out on it. So I think that one, if that one's close to being sent, we should probably do that one to start with.
Are you talking about the 4 different Zestimate type of thing? Okay.
Yeah. Have you sent that one out yet?
No, it was getting printed today, but I can text my assistant.
Yeah, just tell her hold off, because we'll give it a go and say we might come something better or worse.
Okay, cool.
We got Vladimir with us. All right, so let's do this while Andrew jumps on with us. There's sort of 3 steps that I want to go through, and those 3 steps are kind of my process I take when I'm doing any type of creative campaign, which is first is what is the emotion and what is the action. So what is their current emotional state, and what is the emotional state that we want to get them to? So what's that transformational experience, and what is the action we want them to take? And so when we look at these campaigns, we want to be really thoughtful about can we clearly articulate what their emotion is, what it is currently today, and where we want them to be, and then what is the action we want them to take? The second step is we're going to seek inspiration. This is where I'm really a fan of just trying to go outside the box and look at what else out there aligns with what we're trying to create, and how can we use that as inspiration for this thing that we're going to produce. Because at a high level, we're always looking to be different on purpose in all the right ways. And the last step of this process for me is the land and expand. I've always believed, Vanessa, there are 3 things every agent can market.
Mm-hmm.
And those 3 things are, number 1, their value.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, their assets. And number 3, their results. Okay, so why don't you share your screen and we'll start jamming on this. So Vladimir, we're going to do more of a letter style.
I could do a postcard campaign. This is great. I like it. Okay. I could use the other one for letters, and we can do this as.
So right out of the gate, you could tell, Vanessa, this thing just does not look like anything anyone ever has sent.
Yeah, love it.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, like, so just in this is so raw and like basic right now, but this is a good example of, like, Andrew, think about a word. Thanks, Andrew. Think about a word like sit, stale, right? Maybe a really short word that kind of like, I do like the alliteration of sit and sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that, right? Homes that sit and homes that sell. So
I thought of neglected.
Yeah. We have to be careful in terms of like insinuating that other agents neglect their listing, but I do like that word.
True.
Okay, so, and obviously we're doing V1 here. This will be the final polished version, but Vanessa, let's make a list. We had a list, right? So we have professional photography.
I say professional video a lot because, so many people just take out their phones and do an amateur job. So I like to.
Vladimir, what could be really helpful too is having a black and white kind of sad property right below homes that sit versus a bright, exciting kind of domo property like we have from the original design.
That's the idea. I will add that.
Yeah, and it could be, it maybe even could be the same property just looking sad. You know what I mean? like black and white, kind of slightly pixelated. And so notably, Vladimir, on the homes that sit, everything's gonna be X, right? It's like we didn't do this, right? And you can see, Vanessa, kind of how this is shaping up. It's shaping up to be something kind of like, oh, this is, even though we started with, hey, we're going with the Zestimate angle, which I think the Zestimate angle is probably another entirely different angle. But I think what we're doing is, I think that's where the Zestimate stuff can kind of come into play. Go ahead.
How about with video? make sure they know it's a YouTube video because very few agents do YouTube.
Yeah. I like what you said there, Andrew, 4K video. That's a little bit like sometimes adding a little bit of like what's 4K? That sounds expensive. And Vladimir, just one thing on the color, I'm wondering, just to, didn't want to forget this, like on the right-hand side, sometimes that green with that background can be really hard to read.
Yeah.
So I don't want to switch it.
Mhm.
But I might want to switch it. Vladimir, grab one of the designs from the original image on Canva. We'll use a real house.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's
All right.
interesting is I think the back of the postcard now kind of becomes the story that we have here.
Let's see, do you have in there like social media that goes viral, social media promotions, maybe viral social media?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll change that to 4K, so 4K video, professional photography.
Okay,
We get viral YouTube videos. What do we call on narrative listing descriptions?
I say award-winning listing descriptions because
That's
I
actually
believe
really
that a winner. I don't know.
Award-winning listing descriptions. That's true.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like is I like using specificity. And Vladimir, one thing that we might consider doing here on the left side is we might have like even less things and almost like kind of like so like almost like get rid of everything below, like that kind of juxtaposition between like a little bit and a lot to show it. And so Vanessa, on the back of the card, I like the idea of then saying like taking what you have here visually and taking, and by the way, this can be a standard where this front of the postcard is like we kind of lean into it. So now the back of it is like, at DOMO Realty, we believe that blank, blank, blank. Here's evidence that we did it, blank, blank, blank. Here's our call to action. And I think our call to action is, we'll play with that a little bit here in a second, but this is already looking very good. And it's still pretty raw. If we think about connected the front of the card or the back of the card, where does your head go in terms of, okay, we're saying, hey, here's the difference between homes that sit and homes that sell. Like, could we just do something like, that's when we open up with a line, which is there are 8,000 homes that have been sitting on the market for more than 125 days in the metro Atlanta area. At DOMO Realty, we don't just sell homes faster than the competition, 7 days. We sell it for more. And like, I think that's really kind of the end. And like, here's the proof. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the call to action. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, I kind of like, and yeah, if you make that other one more dull. And so Vanessa, on the back of the card, well, Vladimir is playing with that design. On the back of the card, let's try to write some copy here. Vladimir, let me take control of the screen again. So let's start. So for me, like I always kind of bullet point it. So it's the attention grabbing hook that speaks to their pains, fears. And then so that to me, and that's going to be step one. And then it will be transitional statement, which I'll explain in a second, proof, and then what do I do next? Yeah. All right. So in this case, this is going to be what was the number you gave me, Vanessa?
For what? Over 90 days? I think over 90 days. Well, here's the thing. It's like, I can't separate that from listings that have just been listed. So, so the way you language it, you need to make sure there are, 10,897 listings on the market.
What's the average price cut in Metro Atlanta right now? Or the average like list to sale? Do you have a number?
Oh, yeah, hold on, let me see. I think it's like right under 99. It's 97. Let's see what it is. Hold on. 95 or 96.
So the only reason I ask, Jimmy, is because after the we believe, I feel like it's kind of been going a little too, and we need probably a contrast where it's like, instead of losing 5%, or maybe the number should be a dollar amount, 5% off the average house might be bigger instead of losing like 5%.
Yeah, write that in there. I see what you're saying. Just a little bit of a pattern to interrupt. But there were 8,324 homes in Metro Atlanta that have been collecting dust in the market for more than 120 days. If you've been thinking about selling, you might be concerned that you can't sell your home for top dollar and the whole process is going to be long and painful. We believe at DOMO Realty, you shouldn't settle for average. You shouldn't settle for a blank. Our clients love us because we sell homes in 7 days and for 7.25% more than the average real estate agent, because that's a lot of becauses. This might be like, here's how we do it. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna like use ChatGPT to just to remove all unnecessary words here. Remove all the unnecessary. One of the things I like to do too is I like to rate this campaign. I always like to have ChatGPT rate the campaign. So I'll take the visual of this thing. I'll just say, okay, because they can understand it. I'll throw this into it and say, here you go. Okay. Rate this campaign. I actually do it so often. I think everyone does it.
I've never done that before. I just email you, hey Jimmy.
Yes. And I just go to ChatGPT, say, hey ChatGPT, rate this thing. Say something insightful, then reply. Okay. So then I say, rate your campaign. That's the one thing I've learned about using AI is that we're building a bunch of AI tools, and it's really good at critiquing and it's pretty crappy at creating until you have really good guardrails, and then you can create good stuff. There are 8,324 homes in Metro Atlanta that have been sitting on the market for more than 120 days. If you're considering selling, you might worry about getting top dollar or facing a long, painful process, right? At DOMO Realty, we believe these are better. Our clients sell their homes in 7 days and for 7.5% of the average agent. Here's why. So whether you're thinking about selling in the next 3 months or 3 years, the first step is to give us a call to discuss your situation, discuss your goals, discuss your blank, right? How would they describe their goals to you? Like when they describe it's like, hey, like when someone calls you inbound lead.
Yeah.
Like what? How do they describe what they're looking for?
Yeah, it's all about, I need to know what to do to get my home ready. So everybody wants to know how they can spend the least amount of money to get the biggest return. So usually they want a consultation for like, what do I need to do? Do I need to paint? Do I need?
Yeah. So whether you're thinking of selling now or whether you're thinking about selling in the next 3 months or 3 years, the first step is to give us a call to discuss like what it's going to take to get your home ready for market is a long phrase. Do they call when they call, like, is the valuation of the home, is that also a main talking point? How much is this thing worth?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody wants to know what their house is worth, but usually they're like, well, I'm probably not going to sell, in the next couple months, but I'm thinking maybe in the next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to know what I need to start doing now. So I'm ready.
So whether you're thinking of selling in the next 3 months or 3 years, the first step is to call us to
just have a conversation. It's like really all they need is a conversation. And then from that conversation, I set up an appointment.
So what you're experiencing right now, Vanessa, is a little bit of this is what I'm going to try to distill down in 25 minutes for people at Summit, which is here's like, hey, get the facts. What's the emotion? What's the action? Let's go find some inspiration. And then once we create a campaign, how can we land and expand? And so I got to do that in 25 minutes. And we've been on the call for an hour and a half, but we're actually doing it now. All right. So I think Intro might be the company I've been looking for. Let's see if they got it. The reason I'm pulling these guys up is because they book calls, right? One thing that we could do in a CTA is we could say, it's sort of like in a whether you're thinking about selling in the next 3 months or 3 years, schedule a 30-minute consultation to find out to discuss your home's value, the best plan, and blank. Right. So it's gonna be really long. I don't like that at all. But like that's like a little bit like schedule a quick 15-minute, 30-minute call. How long these calls usually last the initial ones?
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. So I think it's like the Geico commercial, right? Say 15 minutes or 15% of 15 minutes or less. What's the other line that we used? Not settle. It was, we believe at DOMO Realty that you deserve more.
Deserve more. Yeah.
We believe at DOMO Realty that you deserve more. Our clients love us because, and I think it ties better to our clients love us because we sell homes in 7 days and for more than the average. Here's how we do it. Bum, 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 bum. Whether you're thinking about selling in the next 3 months or 3 years, the first step is to schedule a 15-minute, 10-minute private consultation at here's our number.
A 10-minute call. I think that's less
No volume.
scary. You know, a consultation might be a
Oh,
little
so
too big of a commitment. People just want a
text or
phone
call.
A call.
Whether you're thinking about selling in the next 3 months or 3 years, the first step is to schedule a 10-minute phone call. This postcard is going to work, or it's going to fail. I have no idea, but but it's worth testing. It's like I'm thinking about like it's just different, and that's what I'm looking for. Like when you look at this thing, have you seen anything like this in the mailbox?
No, you know what? I love it. I love it because my headshot's not on it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a typical realtor postcard. It's
Hey,
very
Vladimir, is it possible for us to squeeze Vanessa's head somewhere on this thing? Maybe like where the verses is, it's your head right there, which where your head and the word verses below it. I love that. And by the way, this kind of is ending up being a different campaign than where we started, which is okay. I mean, like we're like, you know, the other campaign went, so you can tell your assistant to print that one and mail it out. Now that we've designed the postcard, okay, why wouldn't this become a YouTube video or a video for you on social where you're like, hey, my name's Vanessa Riley. Like, you know, you could say, hey, at the time of I'm recording this video, there are 8,300 homes sitting in Atlanta collecting dust for 123 days or 120 days. And it's a short video. I'm just going to tell you the difference between homes that sit and homes that sell. Let me go through a couple things. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. My thinking on this campaign is I think that this campaign, what would be really cool about it is a video from you explaining, right? Get the stats dialed in, video of you. Vanessa, 1000%, this should become an email campaign to your database.
Yep.
Okay. Becomes a video, becomes an ad campaign. And if it does well, in theory, then that's when you put money behind like a branded retargeting campaign. That drives people to the landing page, which is like, you know, a DOMO Realty type of thing. And so when I say land and expand, when we talked about earlier, we've got a database of 13,000 people. So we say, okay, let's get that email. Once we kind of clear it up and we feel good, let's get that email in front of them. You've got a following. How big is your following on social media? 13,000 people on your following on IG. So like that becomes a video. And God forbid you put a little budget behind that one, Vanessa, right? A little boost on that one. And then the email. Okay. The email. And then like private clients. One thing that you could do, you may hate this idea. Like you could say to your private clients, like, hey, I've been talking to a lot of my clients have been, you know, hey, Vanessa, a lot of my clients right now are looking about maybe like thinking about starting the plan process, selling the house. I put together a quick video that I thought you might find helpful on social media. Love to get your feedback on it. As always, I'm here for some questions. Like it could be almost like your one-to-one marketing to them. That like, and you can either encourage them to share it. Like, so in other words, it could be a referral generator. So as an example, you could say, hey, Vanessa, like, hey, I know you're probably not thinking about selling, but you probably have some friends who are, because I've been getting a lot of phone calls about this. I just put together this video that kind of helps people understand how to avoid a really long and painful sales process. I thought I would share it with you because I'm sure you know of a few people who are probably thinking about doing this soon. Here's the link. As always, I'm here to help, blah, blah, blah. PS, you know, whatever you want to say. It takes a little bit of guts for you to do this and we frame it in a really soft way, but don't be afraid. If my real estate agent texts me, said, hey, Jimmy, I know you're not thinking about selling, and I'm sure you know of a couple of people who are. I just did this thing. I thought I'd pass it along to you because I thought you might know. If I can convince you to send this to like 25 people, I think you're going to be surprised at the response rate. Now, you know who to send this to and who not to send this to. But if you're not asking for anything, but rather giving them something that's of value they can share, that's really us leaning into it. So Vladimir, if you want to make a quick note, once we get the actual data, we'll do a retargeting campaign just for display ads. We'll do an email campaign, and then we'll do an SOI text. And I think this is going to be a really cool, like, this one postcard just became 5 different campaigns. All right, cool. I think we got a game plan. You feel good?
Yeah, I'm excited. This is great.
if we do the email, you do the video, we do the SOI text, and then we do the postcard, and we drop all of that. Now, if it fucking flops, we're like, hey, that's, by the way, that's actually, we won't talk about it. but that's actually the thing about it is that like, that's one thing I talk about is the speed. It's like, that's why you got to be fast, because you got to be putting things in market and testing things. And when they great, when they don't work, that's okay. But if it took us a month to develop this campaign versus a day, and we released it and it flopped, we're going to be really discouraged. You know, we're like, well, that was a complete waste of time. But if it took us a day and it didn't work, like, all right, cool. Now we got some learnings. Maybe we'll get some signals and we'll play with it. I got it. Cool. This has been a lot of fun, Vanessa.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.